All right, so I wanted this one to be more about harmony bloom, because I always, when I first started playing with harmony bloom, I was like, how in the world am I going to use this? It's a sequencer, obviously, um, but I started messing around the day, and I realized one way that I like to use it is just to come up with little simple melodies. Um, I can play the melody myself, but every now and then, like if you want like a top melody, something that's just like constantly, that's kind of, you know, sitting there, it's not like a solo type deal. You can create something like this, and because they have the piano trigger right here, you could actually just play certain things on your keyboard, and then you realize like, oh, I could just chop that out. So for instance, let's see, I'm gonna put it on, let's put this on harmony right here, harmony bloom, harmony bloom. So so I have it on probability of 75, and of course the BPM is matched. But what that does is it allows me to just play it and play it as I hear it. So it's like I hear it like, so it's gonna switch because I don't have it on 100% probability. If I put it on 100% probability, you get, but I kind of like what the experimentation of using it around like 75. I actually don't like this one. Right? And so I heard that little melody, I heard that little thing, and so I recorded, but it came out a little bit different than what I was planning. And then what I did was I went in and tweaked certain notes, which the only notes I really tweaked were toward the end. So initially, these first two bars you see here played exactly like this. And then what I did was I just duplicated those bars. And this last note, I think it's right here, I switched it. So it was originally not there, and then it populated here, or populated up here somewhere, and then I just moved it down because I like the way it sounds right there. So then this is what I came up with. I'm going to take the harmony bloom off so you can hear it, because I just used it to kind of create a little melody going, right? Then I built everything else over it. So here's how it sounds without the without anything else going. So then, and I know it sounds different from what you just heard, because that was a new, every time you play it, it's going to be something a little different. That's the idea of using it, right? Is it something different when you hear it? And I'm going to put that back the way I had it. 75, yeah, so right there. So check this out. Then I added these chords. I'm using Pigments. If you want some good sounds, this guy's sounds are really good. Let me go back and you can see something here. Hold on. Sound banks. I got all, just about all his banks. I think now I have them all. And this is where there's one called Void. I can't get the artwork to pull up there, but whatever. So his stuff is on. He has a website, and I want to say it's Juke, Juke, and his yeah. Because if you go back to, let's go back to the sound that we were at. Get out of there. Hold on. Now I gotta remember where Juke was. Oh, it's in Soul Searching. Yeah. So Juke is the designer, and I think Juke Audio is his thing. And you can see Soul Searching. I try to mark the ones I use and I like. All right, so let's go back. So I use that for the keys. Here's what that sounds like. really like 5 chords maybe. Little turnaround chord right there. Okay, so here's what, then I added in some bass. And ironically, I mix it up the way I do it, so I'm never the same every time. I actually started with this melody first, which is rare, and then I put the chords, then the bass line. A lot of times I'll do the drums, chords, then the melody. How you switch it up sometimes can make you create a little bit different too. So then check this out. Here's some drums over it and the bass. And I use a clap this time instead of a snare or a rim. Gives a little different vibe, right? Some faster hats. So this first set of hats where it sounds like that, I played it in myself manually, just playing it. These I use the generator here to pitch it. So I found the pitch. I'm not pitch it, but create the pattern. I found the pitch I like on the keyboard. So let's see, record. Because this is the original. Then I just go pitch it up, right, to give it some variety. Then I start working my little, tweaking with the knobs to try to find some hats I like. And I mean patterns that I like in the hat, right? And then that's all I did. Turn the filter back just a little bit on this particular sound just to give it a kind of a lo-fi vibe. And then if you go into my drum bus, you'll see I use the Roar drum kit enhancer, which I didn't tweak anything on. I just drop it in. And then I have Valhalla reverb, vintage reverb, and I always use about 10% of the drum air preset. So I do that almost on every drum you'll hear that has that. On the bass is Trillion. I use this bass fattener now that has the Roar. I like the way it gives it a little edgy. And then I like to put the drum bus punch in parallel. This is a plugin from Ableton plugin. And then I usually side chain. I didn't do it this time, but I usually side chain the kick, which I'll do right there. Side chain the kick to that, so that way it's so you can hear it. And because the kick is punching a lot more, it has the fat sound to it, I usually drop my dB about -6, just so the bass. This is just the same bass I use literally all the time. Trillion, muted Petrucci R&B bass on Trillion. That's almost every song you'll hear me do. Most of the time, unless I'm switching it up a little bit, it's probably that bass. I just like the sound of it. It fits like the jazzy, kind of mellow, groovy, however you want to term it. Everybody's got their own little thing, vibe type song. And then, yeah, the kicks are just lo-fi kicks and drums, which, of course, I've tweaked them just a little bit. And that's pretty much it. So that's kind of my, I don't want to say generic, that's like my basic way of doing a track. I don't always use Pigments, but lately with finding some good patches and sounds, Pigments is one of my favorites. And I'll put it up there and say that Omnisphere is obviously really top-notch professional sounding, but Pigments is really good for the price. I mean, it's like, what, a fifth of the cost of getting Omnisphere, and I think some of the sounds sound really good in it. And there's a lot of people out making presets, so check that out too when you get a chance. I think I showed you guys in a previous video some of the places where I found some cool presets. All right, so Harmony Bloom, man, that was the whole point of this video, but I figured I'd show you kind of a breakdown of a track. This can be good for coming up with top melodies. I would not say use it for your main melody all the time. You can, but it's nice to mix it up and do some stuff where you play and a little bit of sampling. It's sort of like sampling yourself, if that makes sense. You're finding a part in the playing of it that you like, and then chopping it up to make a sample out of it. Anyway, that's all I got, and just wanted to show you guys that. All right, I'm out.